Hello and welcome to our Reflection for Learning videos. Today we're focusing on the mindfulness hand awareness activity. As we develop our reflective practices to support our learning, there are many mindful and focusing activities that we can also practice to strengthen our overall approach to reflective practice. With the mindfulness hand awareness activity, I'm going to ask everybody to be prepared to at least use your hands if you're able to. The aim of this activity is that it can be done at the beginning of a class to bring people together and into the learning space. It can actually be called out at any time in a class if you want to just refocus the learners on an activity or to give their brain a bit of a break. And it could be done at the end of a class. So let's have a go. It's a short and quick activity and it's very effective. So I ask my participants to have their hands ready and you're going to require strength. So this activity is where I will ask you to clench your hands as tightly as possible for 5 seconds, really tightly. And think about how you are feeling physically, emotionally during this time. Then release. That is the activity. We'll do it one more time to practice. And then I'll ask you some questions. Clench your hands or even one hand as tightly as possible and hold the tight clench, focusing on your feelings, physical and emotional. Release. How did that feel? I know how it felt for me. I'll ask one of my colleagues. How
Well,
did go on?
yes, I noticed how I held my breath um, when I was clenching so tight, and then the relief and the big breath out as I let go, and that tension just released with it.
So, this is an activity that you can do as we are online with a group. You can do it with a small group. You can do it in a lecture theatre of 1,000 students. And it just reminds students to connect with themselves, with the present moment. And it's also a reminder for us that these activities that are related to reflection for learning are somatic, right? We're involving many parts of our body, the physicality of clenching, but also the cognition of thinking about what's happening to our bodies at that time and what are the emotions. Now, for me, a relief in relinquishing that grasp. So, a nice activity that can be undertaken very, very quickly. So, we invite you, and I'll just share my screen, to investigate this activity and more in our practice guide, where we present the scholarship that underpins each of these activities for you. And then, if you have any feedback on how you have experimented with this, how we might be able to make it better, what works and what doesn't, do contact us on our Gmail address here. Thank you for being part of this activity.